People keep asking for prompts, but it's not what made this, and this work. Let me show you my initial mistake with Kling Motion and the simple workflow that fixed it. All right, and Ron. All right, so today we're going to cover Kling Motion. What is Kling Motion? Been doing some experiments with it. I'm on the second iteration, but let me show you a few samples before we get into it. So this is one done using Kling Motion. This is another one. Like, how can you even like prompt for this kind of, action? And the image you could, but the video just kind of direction is pretty on point. And then there's like this kind of comic styles, different things, like someone giving a presentation. So this Kling Motion really simplifies, like, you don't have to be an expert at every little prompt and movement of video. You just give it an example you like, and it works. But I am jumping ahead. Let's get into it bit by bit. Okay, so what are we going to cover today? I already gave you a brief about Kling Motion. I'll cover that a bit more. I'm going to cover number 2, like one of the common mistakes I ran into on my first test run, and then I'll show you a neat little process I discovered on my second test run, which will probably get improved, but this is still useful. And it involves like 3 steps, and we're gonna dig into like the driving video, the character redo with Nana Banana. So this is an important step that I hardly see covered much. Okay, so let's cover this a little bit more. So what is Kling Motion? They have a lot of good samples here. So for example, this is, let's say, footage or some kind of footage you took. Like, people who are good at acting, this will be really good for them. Or find some stock footage, maybe from Envato or some other source you like. And then from that, you give it this character and check out the results. So it's pretty much matching the motion. Like I said, this simplifies a lot of things. Instead of thinking what to prompt, how to move, you just need to find a good sample video, which is how I approach a lot of my image projects, especially recently. So yeah, they do have a lot of good examples. I'm going to cover this in a bit. I'm not going to bug you with that right now. All right, so let's move on to, okay, I covered this. Yeah, so they have 2 options. Where do you get to it? You get to it from video and then motion control, and then you have the controls here. I hardly experimented much with prompts because at the initial stage, I'm trying to test the edges, like what kind of visual input would break the tool, where does it shine, could it handle some kind of comic style, could it handle artistic style? I gave it a few other things. Let me see if I can find some of the characters. So I gave it some characters like this. I gave it, on my first run, I gave it some characters like this. So that's part of the experimentation. Is like, let me see whether tool breaks. So I'm not trying to be like, wow, it's perfect. Just test it out. Anyways, so there's 2 options here. One is character orientation matches video. The other, it matches the image. Right now, I'm kind of undecided which is better, but usually if you have a good image, I would say this. But it's like, it could change on my next trial. Yeah, so what does that mean? Like these 2 options. So they have it here on their guide. Like, the default character orientation matches video, which is a bit obvious. Like, it will match the input video, especially the keyword here is orientation, like how the character is sitting, like especially the start frame of the video. Now, the second option, which I think it could come in pretty handy, I'll show you the difference in just one moment. This is where the tool takes the character orientation, the positioning from the image, and then uses the video for motion. So it might be confusing, but let me show you one example. I usually run them twice. So this was the starting image. So let me run it like this. Let me show you the starting image. Sorry. So this is the driving video I had. This is out of Midjourney. This video goes on to sing. Okay. So now I'll show you the failed attempts. Okay. So I had that and I had this bold guy. I'm like, okay, let me try. I'm going to set him on a white background and let's go. So you see that did a lot of morphing and stuff. Like, it's trying really hard to match the position of the video and stuff. So this was using matches video, which was didn't come out like it's good, but I faced a bunch of issues. This is the same one ran with matches image. So let's see. I think it came out better, but let's see. One sec. At least it's coherent, kind of mimics the initial image, initial driving video. And then we have, this is another comic style. This again, see, this is matching the video. And here I had a lot of, this was a fail basically. And then let's check this one. This is the second one, which matches the image orientation. It kind of did better. Now these two, you might have recognized, I already had a mistake. This was my first test run, and the mistake is this. I was expecting the tool to insert the mic based on the driving video. However, it just takes inspiration from whatever is there on the image. It doesn't add new elements. So that's one thing to keep in mind, which is how I came up with like the next iteration where I start getting better results. Okay, so I kind of covered this. And next, yeah, we're gonna actually go into the process. So there's a three-step process. Let me just cover it high level, and we're gonna get into some actually how to do it. Okay, so step one, find your characters. So I had a bunch of these characters, okay? So for example, where are my characters? I actually tested a lot. Like I had some fails with this one. Then I realized that their user guide says it has to be like a full half body or a full body. Like you see there are examples here. See, this is like half body, full body, half body, full body, as opposed to somebody's like, see this. So this one threw off, especially maybe it's the comic style that threw it off. This one did okay. We had a few other fails, or was they? Yeah, but especially these two, I really wanted these two to run. Those were fails. And obviously, this stuff I really wanted it to work, but this failed, this kind of stuff failed. But initially, even this, I was like, this is going to work. No. So the expectation is just more realistic figure, like maybe it couldn't detect where the mouth is or something. I don't know. But I'm going to attempt a few tries to see if that works. Okay, so that is step number one. Identify your characters. Like, it doesn't have to be plenty, but like who's the lead character? Okay, step number two is extract the first frame from the video. So let me cover an extra thing here. With the video, you could go to a place like FreePic, and then you could go to stock video, or Envato. Envato Elements is actually one of my favorite ones. But just for demonstration's sake, let's say giving a presentation, and then this is one of the videos I ended up using. Okay, so you download a bunch of these. And then what I'm going to do basically is, okay, so let's say, for example, I take this video here. I'm going to drop it there, which I already have, so that's why it didn't pop. But basically, I'm using CapCut. And yeah, come on, let me just pause it. Okay, it's finally started behaving. Okay, so let's say you have this video here. So the first thing I would say is, this video is 9 seconds. And initially I did run one at 9 seconds, but sometimes you want to test it with 4 to 5 seconds, not to blow through your credits. Kind of, let's see if it actually picks up the character and the movement is decent before I push it to like 10, 15 seconds of driving video. So this is what we call a driving video. The next thing I would do is I want to match the initial frame with my character, or at least something similar. So I might do something similar, as simple as this, export still frame, and that will give me the image output. So that is the second step I would do after finding it. So step one, we find the characters we want to use. Step two, find the driving videos you want to use. So here I tested a bunch. So for example, with this one, where is it? I would come over here. That's this video. And let me just increase the, it looks tiny. Okay, then I would come here and export still frame. So what happens when I export still frame? So the export still frame would give me all these start frames. Now, how would we use them? One problem I had on my first run is that the character, let's say here, her position isn't the same as the driving video. Where is this guy here? His position isn't the same as the driving video. So I don't want to take chances, especially that here he has to have some kind of laptop, some kind of desk, some kind of screen. And as we've seen a moment ago from my first test run, the tool doesn't add extra elements to the video. I mean, extra elements to what's there in the image. Okay, so I wanted to inject these elements here. So what did I do? Went into FreePic. Where is it? Where is it? All right, I found the right thing. Okay, so I would go into image generation, and I would start loading all the start frames we did. So we had all these start frames, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would just simply, you could just drag the style and drop it here. I already have them, so it's not going to work. I just drag and drop, drag and drop. Then I would come into the characters, and I would just drag and drop, drag and drop. Because especially with Nano Banana Pro, Seed Dream, I think those are the usually two I test. I'll show you some of the fails as well from other image models. But with these two, you could tag the character. So what I do is I use a very sophisticated prompt. See, it's simple. I start simple. You test the tool, you see where it works, where it breaks, and then you get fancy. Okay, so place character image 4, which is, so basically I'm going with this character, image 4, in same position as image 6. Image 6 is this guy here who's about to cook. Yeah, so this guy is image 6. So like, okay, give me this girl with this position he's about to cook. Similar setting to, now here I use similar rather than exact because I wanted to change the style to comics. I'm like, okay, let's see something similar. Don't want to restrict it too much. Maintain the style and lighting from image 4. Image 4 is, remember, this is our comic. So I want this style, this lighting, but give me this style, this lighting, but match this start frame. Okay, so I go through that. I go through that once, and then what I do is I pick, let's say, Nana Banana once. Pro, I would like click generate. I would come back here, go into Seed Dream, generate. You could try other stuff. Like I tried, what else did I try? Tried Flux. I tried GPT. I was hoping it's gonna be much better, but these initial tests didn't fare so well. Then we get a bunch of outputs. You see here? So this is the character I just showed you, and the setting is, where's this guy? He's outdoors. Okay, so they went for a similar start frame. See here? Similar start frames. This is kind of more zoomed out. This is more closer to what we're having here. Not the exact same, but pretty close. Okay, so we have a couple of them. This one didn't turn out too well. One more tip, with Seed Dream, you could set it up to give you 2 images at once. With Nana Banana, yeah, it doesn't allow it actually. Okay, doesn't allow it. I think it says just 1, 1, 1. All right. So this is another example of my character. Let's have a look. So this guy, the setting here, see here, it's the same as the start point. It's not exactly the same, but it's like, give me something similar. Like if you look at these two, it's like, yeah, you could tell like it's about similar. So anyway, let's see if I could, let's see. So this is one of our other characters. I'm getting 2 variations. Seed Dream is pretty impressive as well. I would say pretty close second to Nana Banana. So anyway, I get all these images. Like here, this is one of my other characters. This turned out really cool. Which character is this guy? Where is this guy? This guy. So I took this guy and I kind of placed him in this position, which is like where's our cook? You see? So this has the reference image. This is the setting, and then this is the character. Which is pretty impressive. So anyway, I grab all these photos of my character being transformed, and then I just like drop them into this folder. Okay, because I'm gonna just run through them in Kling motion control. Okay, so let's just recap the first 2 points. I'm gonna cover the third point. So step 1, find your characters. Step 2, extract the first frame from maybe CapCut or whatever video editor you use. Maybe it's a screenshot, you know. So that's step 2. Take it through Nana Banana and kind of massage the image, which is what I showed you here. This I already covered it. So take it through Nana Banana, and that's how you end up with going from this to these kind of characters, these kind of characters. Okay, this one, by the way, this failed to run. Maybe it's the comic style. I think this one failed to run as well. But let's do 1 or 2 right now, like 1 or 2 runs, just kind of show you how this thing works once it loads. Okay, and I'm on the wrong tool. Sorry. We needed Kling. This is what I wanted to do. So with Kling, you're gonna come up with, let's pick one thing. So let's pick this guy. This is our image. Okay, so this is our driving image. And then I need to pick the short video. So this is our driving video. Now there's hardly, like there's small, that's not visible, which is one of the problems I had. Like maybe because I didn't have this kind of pepper coming down in the original image. Like you see in the original image, the driving image, it has no, yeah, I'll show you the problem in a bit. So anyway, you would load the driving image, and then I would usually test once. I would run it here, and I would test again. So we're going to test this one, okay? So now I do that. Now I need to kind of decide, okay, do I want to change the character? So you can, okay, let's change the character. Let's find another character on the same setting. How about this guy? I think I had a fail here, so let's test it anyways. Okay, is it loading? Yes, it's loading. So this guy here, more of a comic style. And like I said, usually I would test 1 run here, 1 run with this option, because sometimes you might get some good, results here. And for now, I'm not using a lot of the prompts. I might do that on my next iterations. Let's run that, and that's how it works. Let me show you some more samples. So these are outputs from Kling Motion. Let me make it larger. So yeah, although here the clarity of the face is not to my liking, but the motion is good. This one, I think, this one is a good example that shows the difference between like character orientation matches video and character orientation matches image. So let me show you the driving video first. Where's this guy? So this is the driving video. Come on, doesn't want to play. So this is the driving video. And what happens when I have it match the video orientation? This is what happens. See, he's going off the table. It's matching so much like the original video, and he's just going off the table. Okay, so now here's what happens when I do, matches image. So it considers the setting in the image. See, it's already like so much better. So it's like considering the physics and object placement of the views. That's a good example of the difference between these two. Then we have this guy here. Like this is an instance where, let me pop my head here. Okay, so let me increase this. So this is an instance where it came out pretty good. Like I might need a video upscaler to increase sharpness. But here you have the start video. Start video. Like how would I even begin to describe all these events in a prompt? It's just so easier. If you find something you like, maybe you're good at acting or just good at finding B-roll, which is what I plan to do next. I'm going to find a bunch of B-roll, kind of process it that way. So let's see two more examples and we'll see if this results came out. So this one here is cat matches video orientation, which came out decent. Okay, I think this one came out better. This one matches image orientation. Oh, he's actually in Ngoi. Okay, so here's the opposite. Here's this one came out better. Now, one thing I don't like here, like as I'm looking here, like is this actually this option? Is this actually this option or this option? I can't find any kind of thing here. All right, so I'm gonna just jump ahead. I'll show you kind of some of my this probably was among the favorite ones. It came out pretty clean. Okay, let's see if the okay, it just finished running through. So let's look at the results. Yeah, the movement is good, but kind of the face, yeah, the sharpness isn't there. So sometimes kind of like, okay, that's not it. This guy, okay, much better, especially the comic style, much better. I might have to add some effects here to kind of show that something is kind of coming out of the bottle. But yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you had found this useful with the three-step process. I'm planning to do a few more of these kind of experiments and just kind of iterate on what's possible. Okay, thanks.